Hi, my name is James Nielsen. This is for FTT100. And today's date is April 26, 2024. And in today's video, we'll be going over the field stripping procedure of my Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus. I'd like to start out by saying that there's no live ammunition on my workbench or in my work area. The Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus is a micro-compact, striker-fired, polymer-framed, semi-automatic pistol that operates utilizing the short recoil, locking block type tilting barrel action. All right, let's get started on the field stripping procedure. First, we'll verify that the firearm is clear and safe. To do so, we will go ahead and drop the magazine, lock the slide to the rear, and visually and physically ensure that the weapon is clear and safe. So, nothing in the magazine well, nothing in the chamber. This firearm is clear and safe. Okay, now that we have visually and physically ensured that this firearm is clear and safe, we can go ahead and begin our field stripping procedure. Now, we already have the slide locked to the rear, so we'll go ahead and turn our takedown lever. And then the cool thing about the Shield Plus is they have a sear deactivation lever, which can be found right down here underneath the ejector. Rotate that downward until it stops. Don't want to force it. See it there. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and release the slide. And the slide will come off without ever having to pull the trigger. We'll go ahead and set the frame receiver down. And we'll go ahead and remove our recoil spring assembly. Once we have that removed, we can go ahead and remove our barrel. And that is a fully field stripped M&P Shield Plus. Now, if we want to dive a little deeper into our slide assembly, it houses our sights, our striker assembly, which has your firing pin, and also has our extractor. Now, if we look at our frame or receiver, as I said before, we have our takedown lever, our slide stop, magazine release. We have our trigger assembly, your locking block, and your sear housing. And right here we have our ejector. Okay, now for reassembly, we'll go ahead and start with our slide. And we'll go ahead and drop in our barrel. And we'll take our recoil spring assembly and pop it in there with a nice firm push. There we go. And then all we do is line the slide up with our locking block on our frame and slide her to the rear. There you go. Now, the sear deactivation lever is still going to be in that downward position, but as soon as you put in a magazine, it'll reset it. And if you didn't put in a magazine, you just wanted to reset it, you could manually just press it back up with a screwdriver. And that is how you field strip the M&P Shield Plus. All right, so that's the field stripping procedure for an M&P Shield Plus. Now, I will say I was able to find a schematic on firearmsguide.com of the M&P Shield. Now, the M&P Shield and the Shield Plus are basically identical other than the magazine capacity. There's a few minor changes, such as like the grip width, which is to account for that double stacked magazine versus a single stacked magazine. Now, I also was able to utilize my M&P Shield Plus owner's manual, which has all of the field stripping and disassembly information right inside of it. Now, I am very familiar with this firearm because it is my everyday carry gun. But if I was working on a customer's gun and it was a gun that I had never held before, never worked on, having a tool such as Firearms Guide would be very beneficial for any gunsmith. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you.